Dave Benson, I'm the sales coach, and on this video I want to talk to you about, does prospecting for car dealerships still work in 2017? Does it? Does it work in your dealership? Or do you hate doing it, just like every other dealership? Or do you make multiple phone call after phone call, email after email, send out EDMs and all these sorts of different campaigns that you try, and all that happens is when you're making a phone call, you get a left message, you get a hang up in your ear, and all of a sudden your enthusiasm towards prospecting drops. Well, I'm here to talk about that today. And so I want to talk about the only way that cold calling works. You know, something I often talk about is TLC, which is not tender loving care. I mean, think like a customer. If we TLC, if we think like a customer, we put ourselves in our customer's shoes. Now, I don't know about you, but I don't like being cold called just out of the blue. Now, there is plenty of businesses and plenty of different markets that cold calling does still work for in 2017. But I'm here to tell you today that if you're making cold phone calls to people out of the yellow pages, out of the directories, or alternatively to those previous customers that you sold a car to maybe 5 years ago and you haven't spoken to them for the last 5 years, I consider those a cold call. And if you're trying to sell them a car over the phone or just get them in to test drive your latest car, the chances are it's not going to be successful. And I think there's better ways to have a positive return on your time invested. We'll talk about other things like videos and like using social media on one of our other video series. But today I want to address how you actually pick up the phone and how you actually speak to clients in a way that is not cold calling. And so what I mean is the one theory and the one practice that I implement in dealerships across the world, and it's called micro selling. For me to explain micro selling, I'm basically saying that I need to sell one part of the process. You think about your sales process. Maybe at your dealership, you've got a 7-step road to the sale. Looks something like this: the welcome script, needs analysis, that you might do a management introduction, that you do a presentation, that you do a demonstration, that you do a valuation, and you do a close. Well, what we often do when we're making cold calls is we try to close people or spark their interest over the phone and in essence skip right forward in the process. What micro selling is about is selling one part of the process per phone call or per engagement that you have with that customer. So let's think about our road to the sale when a customer comes into the dealership. The first step is always to welcome the customer, to greet the customer, and to build some rapport, to exchange names and to build some rapport. There's nothing more important than building a relationship at the start of any sort of conversation with your customer. You want that customer moving from just somebody that you've never known to somebody that you actually have a true relationship with. And so often what we do is that we pick up the phone call, we pick up the phone and we make an outbound phone call and we say to the customer, would you be interested in upgrading into something new or newer? Would you be interested in swapping your car for the new model that's just out? Sean, to answer your question, do I work in a dealership right now? No, I don't. I've spent the last 16 years in the industry and I continually, every single week, are in dealerships. Myself and Sean continually testing these things. So the short answer is no. The long answer is yes, Sean. So I hope that answers your question. So what we're doing with micro selling is over the phone. If you don't have a relationship with that person, your focus when you pick up the phone is just purely to build a relationship. It's purely to, for example, you've got an orphan owner, that customer that bought a car from another salesperson maybe 5 years ago. Your first call is just to build relationship. Is to say, I'm just giving you a quick call. My name's Dave Benson. I wanted to introduce myself to you. And I wanted to say I'm going to be your point of contact. And if there's anything that I can do in order to help you out, whether it's book your car in for service or whether it's give you a loan car while it's in, anything that I can do to help you and your family out in regards to a car here at XYZ Motors, I'd be happy to help. I'm going to flick you an email with all my details and a little bit about myself. That's what the first phone call is all about. That's micro selling. See, too many salespeople, and I've been in dealerships in the last couple of weeks that we've got agitated because it's come to a sale event time and the dealer principal has given us a list of phone numbers and of people that we have to call and see if we can get them in for a test drive. And generally, salespeople just plow through 50 phone calls, make one appointment. My problem is that it's not about the one appointment that we make, or even if we make 5 appointments, it's the 45 other customers that we potentially could have done a better job with, but we end up applying pressure, or we put in a customer into a position that they're not interested, or they're not, they don't feel comfortable answering over the telephone. So micro-selling is about selling one part of the process. So it might just be a relationship. That's all it might be. It might be that you just want to understand if the current car that they're still driving is serving their needs. You're selling another part of the process. That's all you're doing. And so what you want to do is you want to develop a relationship over a number of phone calls, emails, text messages. That's what you want to focus on, micro selling, not selling a car over the phone. I remember when I started in the industry 16 years ago, my dealer principal said to me, it's really quiet, I'm going to give you a list of orphan owners, of people that bought a car from another salesperson. And I didn't know what to say. I wasn't given a script. And all I did was pick up the phone and say, my manager's asked me to give you a call and to see if you might be interested in upgrading into something new or newer. I mean, how do you think that was received? Not well, is the short answer. So what we're going to do is micro-sell. So micro-selling could be just building relationship. Hey, I just want to give you a quick call, say I'm going to be a new point of contact. Alternatively, I just wanted to update your details to make sure that you're getting our material about our service plans, or alternatively any recalls that come up on the car. That could be a relationship. It could be hey, I'm just giving you a quick call because we're doing a quick survey to just see how the current car is going and whether it's still serving your purposes. That can just be a quick phone call or even an email. I'm a big fan of phone calls. I think we go too far away from them in 2017. We go towards text message and we go towards email. But the thing about email communication, and I do this every week, is that I send out a weekly blog and I watch my my open rate is around 22%. And that's really good, right? That's a really good open rate, 22%. The click rate on would you continue reading, for example, on my blog is about 6 to 8%. So when you send out a whole stack of EDMs, emails, text messages, all that sort of stuff, sure, that might be the easy way out, especially for you millennials, but can I tell you it's not the most effective? And so what I really encourage you to do is just pick up the phone, right? Pick up the phone, make 5 or 10 of these every single day. Get connected with a customer and just build some rapport with them if you don't already have a relationship. One of the other things to do is to micro-sell. In micro-selling, you could sell an appointment. Now, how am I going to sell an appointment? Well, you've got to put some bait on the end of your hook. For all of you fishermen out there, like Dev, who just joined us, you've got to have the right bait on the right hook and fishing in the right ocean for you to be effective. So let's, for example, say that you've got a new model car that's just been released. Let's say the new model Honda Civic has just been released and you want to call all your previous Honda Civic customers to let them know. Are you going to say to them, are you interested in upgrading? No, you're not. You're going to sell one part of the process, which is just a test drive. Now, would you potentially, your dealership, would you potentially pay money for that customer to come in and test drive? I would. As a general sales manager, as a dealer principal, I tell you, I would be paying serious money for a customer who has already got a Honda Civic just to come in and drive, no obligation, right? And so what we want to do is we want to give the customer a call and we want to say, hi Dev, this is Dave, I'm calling from the Honda dealership down the road, how are you going? I'm great, excellent. Well, I noticed that you've got a 3-year-old Honda Civic, and I don't know if you knew, but the new Honda Civic is out. Now, I'm not giving you a call to sell you one or to see if you're interested in one. All I'm calling you to do is to give you an opportunity to be the first to test drive. Honda Australia or Honda the United States has asked me to give you a call because they want to obtain your feedback as a current Civic owner on the new model. So what I'd like to do is arrange a time for you to come in and have a drive and fill out a quick survey, and then what I'll do is I'll give you a fuel voucher, a petrol voucher for $50. Can I tell you how effective that has been in the dealerships that I have worked and implemented this in? because we're just selling one part of the process. In essence, what you're doing is renting a crowd. You're saying activity creates activity. You're saying that I want more people, just as many people as I possibly can, to test drive the new Honda Civic. You want their feedback on what sort of vehicle, whether it's a nice vehicle, whether it suits their needs, whether it's better than the last one. And we know that the feel of the wheel seals the deal. So my encouragement to you is to sell one part of the process. Okay, let's talk about service leads. This is the last one I'm going to cover today. Think about the service department. You've got people coming into your service drive every single day. How do we tap into that? How do we use that philosophy of not cold calling these people, but micro selling to these people? Well, my encouragement to you is to not do what I've seen hundreds of dealerships do around the world, and that is this. Offer a customer an obligation-free valuation and literally do the valuation and put it in the passenger seat of their car. Crazy. Right? I mean, who's going to be happy with that valuation? Who's going to be happy with a wholesale actual car valuation sitting on the passenger seat of their car when they weren't even interested in upgrading? Not too many people, right? I believe that an obligation-free valuation could be a nice little hook, an obligation-free test drive or an obligation-free loan vehicle while they're in getting their previous car serviced or their current car serviced on the new model is a great way to do it, and that's micro-selling, but not necessarily leaving a valuation on the customer's passenger seat when they go to drive out. Will that help you sell any cars? Alternatively is just saying, okay, we'll do your evaluation and then we'll give it to you when you finish. No, what we want to do is we want to say, I've noticed that your car is booked in for a service tomorrow, Mr. Customer, and it's something that my used car manager, he'd be very interested in and could potentially pay you top dollar for. Now, you might not be interested in upgrading into something new or newer, but if you were, what sort of vehicle might it be? And they say, oh, well, I'm probably happy with the same sort of size. I'm not really interested at the moment. That's more than fine. What I'd like to do is I'd like to offer you one of my loan vehicles to give you for the day so that you have a car and you don't have to use the shuttle service. And what I'll do is I'll do an obligation-free valuation of your car anyway to see if we can put our best foot forward. And you never know, we might blow you away by the numbers. Sell one part of the process, right? You want to build rapport in this process. You want to build rapport in service. Hey, if you do nothing else but make cups of coffee for the people in the service department, because there's never enough help in those service departments, then that should be all that you do. That's fine. But stop trying to sell the car and start trying to focus on micro selling, which is selling one part of the process. I'm Dave Benson, another sales tip of the day from the Sales Coach. I hope this has helped. Make sure you like and share this, and I look forward to seeing you in the Sales Hustlers group.